Hello, day 21 of my 365-day challenge. I'm talking about something every day, and it's something that I want to keep practicing, reminding myself to keep in the forefront. And today I am talking about speaking to lift up, and you can even say giving life through what we say. And I guess it's more about like the intention when we speak. And a lot of the times we're just speaking from a place that is, I always think it's like we're coming from a good place, yet how we say things sometimes might not actually create the result that we want. And I think when we really think about how to lift up and then we focus on that rather than pointing out negatives and pushing down, it makes such a difference. Yesterday, I talked about USA and about our 70th reunion, and it was super awesome. And we have head instructors. And one year, when I was, newer on staff, one of my head instructors gave me a little notebook, and inside it had different quotes. And I remember this one quote, and it said, "If you treat someone as they could and should be, they'll become it. They'll rise up." And so I really took that because I coached forever. There was at one point I was like, well, I can't really say necessarily coaching, but choreographing and working with a bunch of teams. I had one school that I was with for 7 years, Valley Christian, but at the same time, I was choreographing for like 13 other schools regularly. And so I would always focus on that. In one school in particular, Carson High School, there was this amazing girl, London, and she was, one of the older girls on the squad. I had them at camp and they were not having it. And I just remember, okay, this girl, I could tell she was a really strong leader and she was leading her team in a way that was not going to be great for camp. And so I literally was like, okay, I'm going to treat her as she could and should be, like how she can be a great leader, because I could see she had a lot of influence, and I'm going to give her leadership. And so I'd kind of given the kids a water break and pulled her aside, and I'm like, hey, I can tell that you're a really great leader, so I'm going to have you clean. And I literally handed over the class. And keep in mind, there's other schools that are within that same group that I had. And I said, you're going to help me clean. And so because before that, she literally was sitting down. She didn't want to do anything. And so I gave her a leadership role. And I think a lot of the times, maybe people would just call her out and say, like, hey, you need to step up or this or that. And sometimes that is necessary. But I could tell where it was going. I got it soon enough and in the butt where it wasn't going to be weird. Like, I knew it was just going to work. And so I did. I had her step up in that class, help me clean. I was having her count. I was like, yes, girl, you're pretty much doing my job right now. But what was so cool is something shifted within her, and kind of having this attitude of, I'm not going to do anything, and like, I don't need to listen to you. Who are you? And having her team follow that. It shifted, and then that team, as cheesy as it sounds, but they took home like the Spirit Award, or Spirit Stick as people know it as, which is really cool. Like, they just shifted the rest of camp and they became the most spirited and go-getters that were there. And I really kind of think that quote, because if my kids were being a certain type of way, like they were late or they weren't in their spot, or I'm like, set up and no one set up, all I would do is I'd focus on the people doing the right thing. I'd be like, so and so, thank you for being in line. So and so, great energy. And of course, again, there are times where we need to point out other things. Yeah, I will say for the majority of my coaching, choreography, teaching career, when I give people leadership roles, when I point out the ones that are actually doing good, and I honestly don't even give energy to the kids that aren't, unless, of course, there's like a major breakdown. It's like, okay, let's handle this. But they influence the rest of the kids, and also too, a lot of the times the other kids, they want a reaction out of you, and so when we're not feeding it, they give up, they get bored. So yeah, I think it's important that we speak life into people, and that we're using our words to lift up, because really, if we want to shift things in the world, and keep in mind, I'm sharing this because these are things that even though I know them and I've practiced them, like, I still need to practice it more. Like, there's never a new level that I can't get to. Like, it's constantly just like this. Like, I know this now, and there's a whole nother layer that I can know, and a whole nother layer. And so I'm sharing it because this week and even today, there was so many good reminders for me to remember to do that, because I will sometimes find myself pointing out the negative, and that's not going to serve anybody. And to me, like I was thinking about it earlier, and I was all, if we want to change the world, we want to have an impact on the world, we can't beat it down. Like, we need to lift it up, like give people the leadership role. Like, and what I've learned too, which is brilliant, is that it makes your job so much easier. You're delegating and you're sharing the wealth. Like, we did that on Pack Modern. And I remember when I first joined Pack Modern, I was the head choreographer. Like, that was the original title that they gave me. And Pack Modern was a hip hop crew I danced with and directed at Long Beach State for like 5 years. And I was like, I'm not head choreographer. I'm not trying to choreograph this whole routine. But what I did was I created what's called the Dream Team. And I knew, I was like, I'm the producer here. Okay, I'm just going to pick the best person at costumes, the best person at, formations, the best person at, I don't know, whatever, like whatever we needed, props. And so I created the Dream Team, and then it gave everybody like pride into what it was that they knew they could offer, and so it was fun. And then we all did it together. And I feel like that just made us so much stronger. And then for me, it was just like, whew, take that pressure off my shoulders. I'm not trying to do this by myself, because you can't. A team literally is, as cheesy as it sounds, there's no I in team. Like, a team is a team, So, anywho, today it's about lifting up. Lift up. Let's lift each other up and lift yourself up. If you're vocally talking negative to yourself, like, put it aside. Treat yourself as you could be and should be. Yeah, what you're capable of. And keep practicing that, right? Okay. Yay. What are we on? Day 21. Woo, 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 woo. Thanks, guys. Mwah.